Hi everyone, you're just about to watch a video on how to manage staff sickness and absence. But before you do, take a minute and have a think about your own salon environment. You know, staff can sometimes be absent because of what is happening within your business. And I want you to go all the way back to the induction period and check that they were inducted in the first place, that they've got a contract that they can understand, that they've got a development and training plan that they are working to, and they got a blueprint and they know what their part is in achieving that. What I'm really saying is that do they actually know what's expected of them in the first place? The next thing you need to look at is personal relationships within the salon. And by that I mean the relationship with you. Is that a good professional relationship? Do they understand you? Do you understand them? And is the relationship between them and the other team members a good relationship? Is there any bullying in the workplace? Are they being mentored? Is there anything that you can do to make it better for them? Okay, I just want you to think about the environment, and now you can watch the video and enjoy it.
It's Hinder again at Salon Help. Look, this week I want to talk to you about more staff problems, and I did have quite a few messages and a couple of emails of people saying, look, you seem kind of pretty hard on staff in your videos. I'm not hard on them at all, seriously. All you need to have is control. And the problem I have is when I go into salons, I don't see any control. I just see lots of staff that are not very well disciplined in the sense of they don't really know what they're doing, they got no rules, they got no regulations, etc. And what you're telling me is, look, you know, we really want to build a team. Well, you can't build a team unless everybody in that team knows what their part is. So they all got to have rules and guidelines and regulations before we get to the creative bit. And I also said in one video about, you know, we're too quick to do the hugs and the cuddles and the cwtches in Wales before we get all the basics in place. Now, one of these basics is causing massive problems. It's massive problems through all industries, certainly throughout the UK and the USA. And that is staff sickness. And the main reason it's a problem is because we accept it. You know, lots of salons take a long time to try and find the staff members they want. They go a long time without staff and they worry they're never going to get anyone. And then when they get them, they then don't want to let them go. So their way of not letting them go is to let them do whatever they want, you know, kind of within reason. And sickness is one thing that lots of staff get away with all the time. Now, when I say they get away with sickness, I mean they get away with a false sickness, okay? You know, when they're not really ill at all and they just kind of, what do we say, towing the rope. And you know this happens. But even if it's genuine and it's genuine all the time and it's genuine a lot, they're not good to you. If someone is genuinely ill every week or every fortnight or every month, you need to get rid of them and replace them with people who are productive, because these people who are sick, as lovely as they might be, as talented as they might be, are not helping your business by being sick all the time, and they're definitely not helping the other staff who might be looking upon this and thinking this member of staff is getting away with it time after time after time. So look, this is what you need to do. It's a really basic framework. It's not rocket science. You need to start off with a good contract. And you'll see me on all the forums. I never recommend any other contracts but the National Hairdressers Federation. I think it's also now the National Barbers Federation as well. Okay, and that includes Booty. So you need to get one of their contracts. You need to join them. You need to have their contracts. Don't go writing your own up unless you're a super duper solicitor, because you're wasting your time. With something like the Hairdressers Federation, you're going to have contracts. They're going to be up to date. You know, you can have, they're going to be legal, and you're going to have legal backing as long as you follow them in case anything goes wrong in the future. Okay, so get a decent contract. I say NHF, you go there wherever you want, but make sure it's legally binding and it's up to date and you've got backing for when it does go wrong. Now, the next thing you need to have is a zero tolerance to sickness or absence. In many ways they're the same thing, because not everyone is genuinely sick and not everyone is genuinely sick enough to be off from work. So this is what you need to do. Someone starts for you, and they're sick in the first day, first week, first month, you need to roll them into the office the first minute they get back. It needs to be in your diary. Go and see this person, sit down with them. You need to get a document. Now, this is really important. The first thing you need to do is make sure that you look at their welfare. You know, we do want a team and we do want to look after our staff, but the first thing we need to do is look after their welfare. So we want to find out what was really wrong with them. And if it's something that we can help them with, maybe, you know, they've got a bad back from standing too much, or maybe they slip down the stairs and you can help them on their return to work by maybe a few days off the shop floor, a couple of days on reception, longer breaks, something like that. We certainly should always be looking to help the team. However, the rest of that document, we want to be finding out what's wrong with them. What did they go to the doctors? Have they had a visit? Are they on any medication? Is it going to reoccur? Is it highly likely to reoccur? What are they going to do to stop it reoccurring again? Etc, etc. Okay, so we've now got all those things in place. We now need to look at the way that we carry on each week and each month with this. So if they keep going sick every single month, then we need to get them in on the next month and the next month after that. But what we need to do is have a tolerance or less tolerance for it. And that means we need to have a way of monitoring what they're doing. Okay, so we get them in 3 times, we get these 3 reports. On the 3rd time, we present them with a letter. And the letter says, in big letters, letter of concern. And it just states, dear member of staff, I am concerned by the amount of absence that you're having during our employ. Not those words, you know, you can do it a bit softer if you want, but that's exactly what I want you to get over to the member staff. Now they know it's unacceptable to be continually off and off. Now, depending on the contract you have, some contracts, like the NHF, give you a limit of the number of days they can be off in a year. I think, don't quote me please, it's 20 days. Other contracts give you a number of occasions that they're off. Okay, so it could be 3 periods of absence that are not linked, might trigger your sickness procedures. Now, after about 3 absences of sickness, I would certainly give them this letter, and I would certainly make it clear to them that the next step is likely to be a disciplinary hearing. Okay, now it's a hearing, not a disciplinary, because at that hearing you want to hear what they say and how they plan on rectifying this absence. If you've got good membership, then something like the NHF, then when you get to this point, it's important that you phone them and say, look, I've got this member of staff off. She's off or he is off every month, every week, and I've documented, use the 3 interviews, use the 4 interviews, use the letter of concern that I sent them. What shall I do next? Okay. Now, if you want to make sure your contract stays intact, then you'll follow their guidance. The most important part though is that you take action early on, because you're much better off, even though you're so desperate for staff, you're much better off terminating this member of staff in their probation period, in the first 12 weeks, in the first 26 weeks, than stringing it out for 1 year or 2 years. Because the absence, the sickness, is going to drag you down, it's going to create you all sorts of problems, and it's going to be much more difficult to get rid of them after 2 years, and you may have tribunal issues to deal with as well. So, you know, you need a lot of impact. You need to make sure that in your salon, it's not acceptable to be absent. Okay, we know everyone is absent and everyone is genuinely sick, or most people are genuinely sick from time to time, which is why we have a number, you know, 2, 3, 4 occasions. I go for 3. So we're not saying don't be sick and that's the end, but what we're saying is I'm identifying you as being sick. You're being sick too much for my business, you're having an impact on my business, and we're unable to accept it because you're affecting the business, you're affecting my staff, you're affecting my sales. And so this is what we're going to do. Okay, I know I'm tough on staff, I'm tough on procedures. You need systems in your business. This is the bones to a system that you need to put in place. The key parts are work on it fast, Make sure you got the documentation, make sure you got a proper contract. Don't let them off the hook and don't let it drag on. Okay? Hopefully I've changed your mind a little bit about something, improved your business a little bit. Have a great week, sales. Catch up with you soon. Thank you.